Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. Interesting debate point today. Raheem Sterling dropped by the England squad because of an altercation with Joe Gomez after the Liverpool game. Not the altercation we saw on the pitch. This has happened in a private area after England call-up, we presume yesterday, and Raheem Sterling has been dropped from the England squad. Now there are some quotes I want to read out, but first of all I just want to say I think there are good and bad bits to this, and I want to get your opinion because that's what it's all about. But I've got to say the big thing that comes out of this for me is, and Gareth Southgate said, we've worked hard to make sure that club rivalries don't infiltrate our England camp. And to be honest with you, I couldn't give two hoots about your England camp, Southgate. I mean, the Premier League is where it's at. You ask any Liverpool United fan what's more important to them, England or United or Liverpool, and it will be their club. And I wish Manchester United players were a little bit like this. I really do. You know, I see it every week. You know, if McTominay or Brandon Williams or someone like that, they get into they show a bit of passion. I don't want to say they get into a scrap, but they get into a bit of a passion, a bit of handbags, whatever. It gets the crowd interested because the fans have never lost their passion for football. I used to go in the late 80s. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a great time with all the hooliganism and everything like that, but the passion for football was there, and it's still there today, but I don't see it enough with footballers. So Raheem Sterling, a day after losing against Liverpool at Anfield, getting into an altercation with Joe Gomez, you will get the snowflakes and you will get the fence sitters going, oh, all that money, and he's done that. But I don't even like Man City. And I'm like, fair play. They lost the game. It was a very important game. Liverpool deserved to win it, but Man City felt aggrieved. And he's carried it on when they've met up. You know, maybe there was a bit of banter going on and he's like, I'm not having that. Who knows what the scenario is? Maybe he's just gone up to him and said, who knows what it is? But it shows a passion. It shows he cares. And I think I don't know whether I necessarily agree with Southgate. I mean, let's just quote Southgate because he said that we have taken the decision to not consider Raheem for the match against Montenegro on Thursday. My feeling is that it's the right thing for the team and the action that we've taken. Now that the decision has been made with the agreement of the entire squad, it's important that we support the players and focus on Thursday night. And the agreement of the entire squad, I mean, I don't like this because I think not knowing what's happened. I mean, if he's punched him, then he's got to be dropped. But if it's a bit of, you know, pushing and shoving or whatever, and there is talk that Joe Gomez will be dropped as well, which I don't think will happen. I'd be surprised if it does. But let's not forget the political angle with this. Raheem Sterling has had a lot of issues over the last few years with the press, the English press, insinuating things about, you know, his lifestyle, and Raheem Sterling biting back and saying, quite rightly, is it because I'm a young black footballer? Would you do this to a young white footballer? And I think he did a lot of good by highlighting that issue, and a lot of that has stopped now. To then drop Raheem Sterling, it allows those people who have issue with him, who clearly had issue with him before, and that allows them to get back in at him, and in some ways maybe justify their prejudices and go, look, he's a troublemaker, we were right all along. And I think that's dangerous, and I think that's not Sterling's fault. It's not even the press's fault. That's England Football Club. Maybe they should be thinking about that, because as soon as I saw this, the first thing that came into my head was Raheem Sterling did all that good stuff to expose the press for talking about him being a young black footballer and spending his money. He absolutely exposed them, and then he's now been dropped by the England squad, and it's the first thing that came into my head. I thought, oh God, is he going to start getting a rough ride again from those who were attacking him before? And you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. And I personally think, from an England point of view, I mean, why not deal with it internally? Why not just say, why not let it get leaked out to the press and just say, you know, just you know, as Raheem Sterling has spoken, and he has said this. Raheem Sterling has said that both Joe and I have had words and figured things out and moved on. We were in a sport where emotions run high, and I'm a man enough to admit when emotions got the better of me. This is why we play this sport, because of our love for it. Me and Joe Gomez are good. We both understand it was a 5 to 10 second thing. It's done. We move forward and not make this bigger than it is. I just don't know. I mean, that's part of the reason I've done the video, is I just don't know where you stand. My initial reaction, and if you check out my tweet, is that Sterling's obviously in the wrong, and it shows that clout means nout, because, you know, Sterling is one of the best players in Europe. Joe Gomez isn't at the moment. So in some ways I think, well, look, dropping Sterling shows that, you know, clout means now. The golden generation was a problem for England, and removing the better player because he was in the wrong is a big statement. So I can see all the sides to it, but I also think that I also think I actually sympathise with Sterling, and I think, as somebody who is very petulant on a football pitch, I am. The videos are out there. I get emotional, I care, and I do get into arguments and stuff. I think that's something that's dying out in the modern game, but I think it's a massive part of the game because I think it connects you with the fans who are very passionate. So Sterling getting into something a day after losing a game of football, I actually respect. I know people say, "Oh, we are sending out the wrong message there." Oh, I'm sending out the wrong message that somebody actually cares and is actually getting into an argument with the player of the other club for who knows what, for who knows why it happened. But I just think, if it was a Liverpool player, the Liverpool fans would stick up for him. If it was a United player, I'd definitely stick up for him. So I can look at the situation for Raheem Sterling and say, look, at least he's a modern day footballer showing some passion. And is he being scapegoated a little bit? I don't know. But another angle potentially with this is it Gareth Southgate? Is it Gareth Southgate showing he's the big manager? Look at me, I'm the big manager. There's many different angles to it, but ultimately, let's not forget, we're playing Montenegro. They're crap. So you could play the England reserves and we'll win that game. So it'd be more interesting if it was a World Cup semi-final. They wouldn't have dropped him. So there is a level of hypocrisy there. They wouldn't drop him if it was a World Cup semi-final. If he'd knocked Joe Gomez out, Jordan Henderson out, and every other Liverpool player in the squad, and then he'd then bloody tombstoned Gareth Southgate, he'd still be playing in the semi-final because it'd be a World Cup semi-final and he's one of our best players. So yeah, there is context to that. I think it's a perfect opportunity to make an example of somebody. Get your comments in. I think we've covered every angle there, whether you're pro or against it, but I think ultimately what I take from it is that it's been dealt with. Raheem Sterling says there's no issue with him and Gomez. Southgate said it's a one-game thing. I think Sterling showing a bit of passion about losing a football game is a good thing, and not enough people do it. And I'll tell you what, as a United fan, I don't see I can't imagine any of our England players doing that. I just don't think they would. And some would say, well, that shows they're professional, but I think United from top to bottom lack that sort of passion and desire and care, to be honest with you anyway. So fair play to Sterling for doing that. Shows why he's a successful player. Shows why he's one of the best players in Europe, because he's driven and he's passionate, isn't he? So fair play to him for that. Look, if he's throwing punches or anything like that, he deserves to be dropped. Yeah, we've covered all the angles. Thanks for watching. Get your comments in below.